Hello, I am going to go over the fall certification process for Cover Crop Plus. You have enrolled up to 500 acres. Just a reminder, it's the same field for 3 consecutive years with no-till or conservation tillage and a mix of 50% cereal grain or ryegrass and 25% legume after the harvest of corn, sorghum, soybeans, vegetables, hemp, millet, tobacco, small grains, or hay. Use no-till or conservation tillage to meet the 30% surface residue throughout the entire 3-year rotation. The cover crop has to be planted by October 15th. It used to be an October 1st deadline. This changed in June of 2024. If you have an agreement that says October 1st, if the farmer can plant by then, that would be great, but we will give you a little bit of cushion there. Notify the Soil Conservation District of the planting date by October 22nd. Use approved species and seeding rates, which are the same as the traditional cover crop program. Submit seed tags for purchased seed signed by the operator or seed tests for homegrown seed signed by the operator, and plant all cover crops and cash crops within 10 days of harvesting or within 10 days of terminating the previous crop, or plant grain into a standing crop to maintain year-round living roots in the soil. Notify the Soil Conservation District within 1 week of planting. And just a reminder for the farmers that payback may be required if funds were dispersed based on false or misleading information, or if cover crops were not planted in 3 consecutive years on a given field. There may be cases where the farmers drop down to a traditional payment because they didn't meet the Cover Crop Plus requirements, or they didn't have 30% residue cover when the fields were verified. Now I'm going to go over the Cover Crop Plus checklist. So first of all, please remember to email conservation grants after planting in the fall and after kill down in the spring with the dates of the planting or kill down. For fall, you're going to fill out the fall certification page, and I'll go over that in more detail in a minute, and mark down if the mix meets the requirements, and then submit your seed tags. And then if seed is purchased with fall certification, we'll go through that, or the seed tests if homegrown seed was used. And then the farmer certification page. Submit field maps and maps signed by the aerial operator or the aerial seeding form used in cover crop traditional. Submit the fall fields and spot check findings. And then submit any of the optional practices such as a grazing plan or commodity wheat or barley plans. And then a seed mix calculator as needed. And then I'll do the spring certification checklist and certification sheets and spot check sheets in a separate training. So here's the fall certification sheet, and you want to put up in the top left here the applicant's name and the name of the district, and then the crop year. And remember, our forms are hard copy, unlike the traditional cover crop program. We prefer an electronic Excel workbook format, and you would want to submit these forms in that format August 15th to October 7th or October 22nd, depending on the sign-up year, the farmer sign-up year. So looking at this sheet here, you want to have the farmer include the farm and track number, and I just made up a farm number and a track number here, the field number, So in this case, fields 1 and 2. The acres, I put 100 acres as a sample. The species, the seeding rate, pounds per acre, and whether the mix requirements were met, which is way over here on the right-hand side. And then paging down, it's going to give you the total acres planted. So make sure that the acres that you put in there, that they add up correctly. And then here is a sample seed tag. And it gives you the type of seed and the lot number and other information about it. And then here is the fall farmer certification page. So you want to check if it's a seed tag or a seed test, which is the top box. And then you want to check that you submitted maps delineating the cover crop fields and acres. And then custom planted acres are indicated separately on the maps and signed by the applicator. And that the cover crop mix and seeding rates meet the program requirements. And that you used no-till or conservation tillage with 30% residue remaining on the fields, whether you included any optional practices. And then the applicant signs and dates the form. And then just remember that we're going to need field maps submitted with these fall certification sheets. And then here's your fall fields and spot check form. You would just fill out section A on the left here, and the verifiers fill out section B. So I've just created a sample here. So the farm track is 2,000/900. Field 1 was 5 acres. It was planted September 22nd, 2024. The planting method was aerial. The preceding crop was soybeans. And then for field 2, it's 95 acres. It was planted on the same day. The planting method was aerial, and the preceding crop was soybeans. And then you want to make sure that there's a total, the acres total up on this sheet here. And then if you have livestock grazing, what we need is the grazing plan. And then the sample spreadsheet we'll go over in the spring certification training. And then here is the seeding calculator to determine if the seed mix meets requirements. So you would fill that in and submit that electronically as well. And then if the farmer chose the commodity wheat and barley under the optional cover crop following wheat or barley, then notify us that the farmer chose that option, and let us know what fields. So that's just what we need for this particular option is just the plan at this time. And that would be for summer fields and spot checks if applicable. And that's all I have for the cover crop fall certification. Thanks so much.